Hi there, and welcome to Fearless Future Friday. It's a beautiful, beautiful day, and I have a great quote from Nick Saban. Whoops, let me hit the right button. There we go. Your attitude is critical to success. If you expect things to be difficult, it will always be easier to solve problems, overcome adversity, and have an enthusiastic energy about how you will go about and enjoy your work. When I first read this quote, I thought this contradicted my experience. I thought that this was completely backwards. And then I realized something that I hadn't quite thought through. And that's that I knew that when something was difficult and I persevered, the hardest to succeed, that was where I had the greatest joy. That's where I had the greatest sense of fulfillment, where I did the hard thing and actually made it across the finish line and did it. There is great joy to be found in overcoming adversity. When I thought things would be easy and they weren't, it was far easier to give up because I expected something, and that expectation set my energy level and set my intention level and set my courage level, I suppose is another word for it. It set those things all really, really low. And so then it was much easier to go, well, I'm not going to bother. Starting a book is super easy. I've started thousands of them. Well, I shouldn't say thousands, hundreds. I have literally started hundreds of books. Finishing, whole different ballgame. As I've shared previously, I spent 15 years never completing a first draft because I didn't have a system. I hadn't figured out how to get across that finish line. And so I would reach a certain point where either because I didn't know what happened next, or something else happened, or the next shiny object came along, or the next story idea came along, there I'd be off in the ditch again. But since I figured out the system that I use to write my books, I've written and published 50 of them. And it's been really easy to do all of that compared to that 15 years of darkness, I like to call it. Now, some of those failed attempts were halted by legitimate reasons, a legitimate lack of time. When you're working 16 hours in the movie industry, for example, it's, I'll say, challenging to make the time to write every single day. It can be done, but it's not that easy because you simply don't have the mental, physical, emotional energy to get it done. But if I'm brutally honest with myself and with you, fear is the thing that stopped most of those failed attempts. I was afraid of something, whether it was how I might be perceived, what someone else would think if I actually published this thing, how what I wrote in this book would affect relationships that I had. There's a whole host of those fears. Like, you probably have a lot of them as well. Were those fears valid? I think I, like you, can give you a laundry list of reasons of why I believe they were true, those rationalizations, I should say, rationalizations for why I believe they were true. But at the end of the day, a rationalization is not a reason, it's simply an excuse. I didn't finish those books because I was afraid. Pick your reason why, it doesn't matter the reason why. I allowed fear to stop me, and that should never, ever happen. There's a great quote I want to share here. Oops, let me get slides in the right place. Here, let's try that. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? The answer is no one. Nothing. And therein lies the predicament. When I was living in fear, I couldn't complete anything. When I lived in my own courage, lived in my faith in God, and trusted that Him plus my courage would get it done, guess what? It did. 50 times and counting. And it'll do it for you as well. So with that, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. And if you're still trying to figure out how to create your own writing system, or how long will it take to write your book, or any of those questions to get you off the ground, then I would encourage you to go to writingmentor.pro/manuscript math. You'll find my manuscript math calculator and a worksheet there that will help you determine how you can fit writing into your life, no matter how busy you are, and how to determine, based on your skills and abilities today, how many days of writing it will take to write your first draft. Those are two really beautiful tools that will help nail down all of that for you and do it very quickly. So if that's the thing for you, great. I would love for you to go check that out. And whether manuscript math is right for you or not, come on back tomorrow. I would love to see you here. Bye for now.